Okay. Last game was Challenger 800 LP. This one, we got Bronze 4. So caveat, I don't think I've ever actually reviewed, like, a lower rating game before. So yeah, just putting that out there. I guess I'll try and focus more on, like, more basic principles. But let's get into it. We got a 40-minute banger. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole game, to be honest. It's kind of late here. I want to go home. So I might skip around, just try and get some juicy good bits, but I'll make sure that there's a lot for you to chew on. So don't worry about that. So you're playing Lux. Playing Lux with Diana and Zyra. So one thing I don't prefer is selecting AP when I have like AP support and AP jungler, for example, because then it makes the enemy team itemizing MR very effective. And in lower brackets, maybe that doesn't matter that much, but as you climb higher and higher, it's something to consider that if the enemy goes Merc Treads, it's going to be like very effective versus our picks. Okay, so we're playing Lux. Okay, that's alright. So, how I want you to think about the Luxie is there's like a certain range that if he comes in, or if he drops to auto attack a creep, then I'm going to shoot the E. So I thought that like this is not really a timing to shoot the Luxie. So when is TF actually going to walk up and it's easy for me to land an E? Well, I'd say right as he's last hitting a creep is a good time to use my E as Lux. So, you know, he's going to go for this creep. Let's see if he uses it. Nope, you just let him have it. And really what it does, it puts pressure on the enemy. Like, he has to choose between is he going to CS or is he going to try and dodge my poke? Because right now you're kind of just shooting your E willy-nilly when you feel like, oh, I think it's going to hit. Which, okay, if you're really good actually at Lux, yeah, you can just kind of shoot it when you think it's going to hit. But as a basic concept, you want to shoot your skill shots and poking abilities when the enemy is CSing. So definitely a very big thing I think that you can focus on. So for example, right now, he stops to auto attack, that's when you shoot your E. I don't think the CSing is that bad for like bronze, honestly. Not bad, not bad. See, there you're able to land your E for the first time because he wants to walk up for the CS. He's like, oh shit, I need to get the CS. And then it makes it easier for you to land your E. Is it actually bronze? You like know how to CS under turret, I think. Damn, bronze players are built different these days. Wait, am I recording? Oh, thank God I'm recording. Another thing I've noticed is you haven't used your ward yet. Honestly, in bronze, it probably just like doesn't even matter, but it's a good habit to build. Like use your ward. Oh, nice, nice Q. Alright, let's try and watch some skirmishes. I would say you seem kind of oblivious to the fact of what is happening to your jungler here. So maybe we need to work on the mini-map awareness a bit. You know, you should at least have an eye on like, oh, my jungler is like their jungler is right on top of my jungler, and their top laner is there too. I better see like what's happening, see if I can help them, because you're kind of just like not reacting. You're kind of just like peacefully like vibing, and then you're like, oh wow, my jungler. Um, W him, bro. Shield him. Shield him. Oh my god. He almost died. um, yeah, don't be stingy with that W, man. That's a nice little Lux ability. It shields your ally. So I would say when you're getting pushed in like this, you want to prioritize getting as much of the CS as you can. And I think you kind of have an understanding already of how to CS under turret, but the wave here is actually very good to like CS all of these under turret. You don't want to mess with this as a spell at all. And the reason it's good is because the melees are pretty much full HP. They're even like slightly chunked by like 10 HP, which is perfect. Because that means the turret is going to hit them twice, and then you can get them with one auto attack. And the range minions are full HP too, which means, you know, they will die to like, you can thin it out like one more auto on each of the range creeps, and then, you know, get them with one turret shot. So actually this wave is very nice to CS under turret. And when you E here, it kind of just messes up all the CS, and it makes it really hard for you. And now it's like, oh crap, all the CS is coming under turret, and I can't get any of it. And now I'm getting hit by like all of TF's abilities. Now I'm not like getting as much CS as I should in the wave. And it's just a bad time. You know, you opted for barrier, which I think it's fine. It's fine for bronze. You know, situations like these are when it's like, well, it would be nice to base and TP back. But, you know, if you like playing with barrier, alright, man. Whoa. Barrier, bro. Where's the barrier? Oh, no. Well, you definitely want to be using your barrier if you packed it. So, if you're going to pack barrier, when should we use barrier? Barrier you want to use when the enemy is going to hit you with their burst. So for TF, that's either his auto attack with stacked deck, which he has active right now, or his Q. So that's when you want to use barrier. But, you know, you didn't barrier any of it. And now it's kind of too late, honestly. Like, now you'll have to barrier and flash to live. Whereas before, I think if you just barriered, and you can even hit him with Q, you have enough mana, then you'd be fine. Because honestly, it was kind of crazy for him to do this. I'm pretty sure if you use barrier well, you can just barrier and walk away. Well, anyways, no flash. I'd say when you land keys like this, when you land a key like this, don't be afraid to just R for like huge chunk and control of the lane. Because Lux R is really not that long of a CD at rank 1. Definitely get your ward out at this point. Okay, we got a ward out. Not the best position. So why is this ward not the best position? It doesn't give you, it's not the worst, but it doesn't give you as much info as wards in other positions. So where is a good place to ward? If you can see my mouse cursor here, I think here is a better place to ward. Because then you can see their jungler walking into river. As well as, you know, see more of the raptor camp here. I think here in this bush in the river is good because it covers a really wide area. And again, it'll see this entrance right here, which is where you'll see a lot of junglers. Here is not really going to show you that much. The jungler can kind of sneak by still here. You know, you don't have vision of the raptors camp, which is another spot where you see junglers a lot. So I would really recommend when you have time here to ward like right here, right where my mouse cursor is. That way you can see like the whole raptor camp and entrance to the river. One thing you can do as Lux here, by the way, is to just E and ulti the whole wave. It's like a very low skill effective way to play mid lane and just get the whole wave out and then go like you can go roam, you can recall, you can like tab out and watch Netflix. It's like a very low skill, non-interactive way to play the lane. Just want to put that out there. You would E all 6 CS and then ulti all the CS. Oh, you're good with the keys. Yeah, again, like great time to just shoot your ulti. Because your ulti will actually proc your passive as well. So really he'll tank like 400 damage here, and then you can auto him again for another passive proc. He'll actually be like 200 HP or so if you just shoot your ulti here. So don't hesitate. It's a good opportunity to flip your ult. You definitely want to be like E-ing the wave. Do you have Demolish? Okay, another thing about Lux that you might not know about is the cooldown of the E starts when you shoot it. So really, when this wave is coming in, and TF just ported on bot, you want to be Eing like really fast, because you know the creeps are coming, and it's gonna bunch up all the melees, all the ranged. You know, you can E all of them, and you'll be surprised because, you know, if you let your E cook the full duration and then pop it, your E will be up again in like a couple seconds, and you just push the wave really, really fast that way. Like, Lux has really, really good wave clear. So now you decide to shoot your E, and it's just kind of slow, you know? It's kind of slow. Now TF is back in lane, and like now I would say is like it would have been nice to push this wave fast and base, because now TF is coming back to lane with full resources. You know, I would never stay here. You need to think about your own like HP and mana here. Ooh. Okay, the accuracy could have been a bit better, but I like the spirit. Oh. Get out of there, Lux. You did what you had to do. Okay, now you really gotta recall. Because now you're just kind of trapped in this very doomed spot where you have no HP, no mana. And yeah, you're just kind of useless. And so why is it bad? Well, it's bad because if a fight breaks out, you have no HP and no mana to help. It's bad because you're going to bleed CS without mana to help you. You know, you're like losing a plate here potentially if the enemy walks up. And eventually you're going to have to base. Well, finally you do base. I'd recommend picking up a Dark Seal. You're just sitting on 500 gold here, which is not ideal. One thing I haven't seen you do once this game is go for an E-auto. But, going for that auto attack can be nice if you can't trade back. Just something to think about. So, when you use your E, your idea here is you want to push the wave as fast as possible. Instead of shooting it like this, where it only catches the ranged, what if we shoot it here, and it catches all 6 CS? Wouldn't that be a bit better? Because the idea is TF ported away from the lane, so I want to push so that I can start to deny the CS under his turret, and maybe hit his turret for plates. Cheeky little deep pink ward, okay, I like it. Yeah, the more I see you, the more I feel like you're not going for the Q autos. I think go for the auto attack here. Proc your passive, it'll feel good, trust me. Hey, give him a shield. Okay, nice. Ulti him! Nice. Oh, a missed chance. Here, you could have actually cooked him. He walked forward. He stepped forward, your E is out. He has blue card locked in. You missed out on a kill here, actually. You could auto him to proc your passive while he's standing in the E slow. Then, you could pop your E, and then your passive would be up again, and then he would die to that passive auto. A missed chance. Yeah. Yeah, every E you're shooting when you have the option to push your wave really fast, you're only hitting the range creeps, but really you can get like all 6 CS with one E if you aim it well. And that's gonna push much faster. Okay, nice binding. Nice E. Okay. Okay, not bad. Good bind. The ulti was a bit unnecessary. But Not bad, all things considered. Ulti the wave. Honestly, not that bad for bronze. Is this really the level of bronze these days? That's crazy. Oh no, the cannon! Okay, well if you didn't know this already, the cannon minion gives more gold than all of the other creeps combined, so you really don't want to fuck that one up. Little pro tip. Ooh, close. Okay, well you went for the Q and it missed. One thing you can do, if you sense that this is a kill opportunity, which I think you do, is you can actually play around the E slow. Like, very good Lux players will play around the slow of the E as well. So while he's slowed with the E, actually, it's going to be easier to land your ulti. So wait until your ulti to pop the E. Because it's going to be a lot easier to hit your ulti while he's slowed. Rather than just trying to hit it straight up. Because there's such a big difference in damage output, like whether you hit the ulti or not. Whoa, he just flashed on you. Are you fine? This time you buried. I think you kind of panicked here. You can kind of just drop your E and walk away. Like, you're fine. You can just drop your E. You have W. You have potion. I think you kind of panicked here. His W is like still 6 seconds CD, so it's not going to be up again right after you just used it. It's a bit of a panic flash, but at least you lived. Let's see here. Did you opt for the Ruby Crystal? Build AP, damage good. Build the Amp Tome over Ruby Crystal when you can. Not the worst. I mean, one thing you can start to think about as you continue to play the game is you should think about what skill shots can I easily dodge? Like, even while I'm in the middle of fighting, even while I'm trying to run, what skill shot should I try and dodge to give myself the maximum chance of survival? And honestly, I think here you're dead anyway to Jax, but, you know, something like TFQ is really easy to just, first of all, anticipate. It has a cast animation. You see it coming at you really slowly. It's the sort of thing you can just kind of sidestep and not get hit by, because you tank 392 damage from it, even. Because really a lot of fights can come down to, like, did I manage to juke his ability? Did I manage to dodge his, like, really important skill shot? We ulti those, yes sir. I think you left base again with, yeah, I think you had enough gold at this point to just sell this refill potion. Buy Dark Seal. Dark Seal's a nice item. Would highly recommend picking it up on any AP champ. Okay, not bad. Auto attack, very nice. Honestly, it really doesn't look like bronze when I watch it. It looks more like silver, gold. Maybe players are just different these days. So here's another example of what I mean by like, you should try and dodge their skill shot. It's not a targeted ability, right? She has to shoot it in one way or the other. So what you want to do, if you're a player who's trying to get better at League, is like kind of click to the side, kind of click here, click there, and make it difficult for her to aim it. Because when you walk in a straight line, you're just making it really easy for her to hit you. Assess the situation with your ulti. Oh, you're just running. Well, you're running with, you know, I understand the idea here. You know, you're like 1 HP, you want to run. But here you're like at a very safe distance. So here you can actually kind of like look here and see like, can I just like ding him with my ulti? And will it change the outcome of the fight if I do that? The boys are pulling Baron. Okay. Careful of that Blitzcrank. Whoa, careful. Whoa, you're just walking right into him. Certainly a strange outcome. Okay, so let's talk about the way we want to play here as Lux. So Lux is kind of a long-range artillery poking mage who is very vulnerable to getting caught out by, for example, hook champs, hard engage, CC, and getting one-shot. So here, the way you're walking through here is very cavalier. You have full vision of their CC champ Blitz, who should honestly be like walking up and trying to hook you here, so he can combo with this TF and probably just kill you. But he kind of just ignores you and lets you walk forward, which is strange. The important thing when you're playing champs like Lux is to keep your distance. So I believe I did just see TF lock in a blue card and auto attack a plant. But, you know, you want to be kind of gauging all the threats and playing very safely, like playing as the most backline position. So you found a very good like Q ulti here. You've already contributed a lot to the fight here. You don't want to walk right into their Gwen at this point, especially with this TF who's still kind of on the side flanking you here. The ideal way for a control or an artillery mage to play is to keep max range and cycle your cooldowns as much as you can. And when you get close to this, you're just kind of giving them the chance to kill you. And then you can't cast your spells anymore, which is not good. That's so funny. I think TF really did just lock in a blue card and auto attack a plant. I gotta watch this again. Okay, that was sick. At this phase of the game, I'd say you definitely don't want to be walking out to bot lane here when Baron is up on the map. When Baron's up on the map, you want to be around there when you don't have TP. Because if a fight happens around there and one team gets Baron, that's an insane swing. Not to mention you're going to the same spot as your Yorick, which is pretty inefficient. You don't want to be like splitting. You don't want to be sharing a lane of farm, right? And like no one is top. So basically, what I mean to say is top is your lane. You got to be going top here. That way you're on the correct side of the map near Baron. Does that make sense? And your bot laner, and the guy who goes bot should be Yorick, because Yorick is a splitting champ with TP. I think you don't know what Gwen does, which is okay. I think you're new to the game, right? Her W ability makes it so that the only thing that can target her is inside of this blue circle. And because you're outside of the blue circle, nothing you cast on her will take effect. So, stylistically, it's very good against champs like Lux who want to keep a long range. Wow, A lot of all chatting in the game. Okay, I imagine it's just a bunch of fights, which is honestly like not a bad thing. Because really, the more fighting there is, the more chances there are to kind of like improve your mechanics and fighting ability. So I'm just gonna zoom around to the fights. You guys are pulling Baron. That's all fine and dandy. Okay, you end up killing the MF, but what you should think about when you're playing a skill shot champ is how can I CC, how can I chain my skills off of my allies CC? That way, they have no counterplay. So if you're aware of what Zyra does, all the vines come out, and then after like a second or something, they'll be knocked up, they'll be CC'd. So what you want to shoot your E or your R during that time, so that they can't, you know, flash out of it or stopwatch or heal or, you know, be saved, something like that. You want to hit the skill as soon as they're CC'd. Because here it's like he's CC'd and you haven't shot anything yet, and then you shoot it, and you know he like stopped to auto attack and got hit. But if it were a better player, maybe he flashes and gets out. Maybe he has some sort of save like a Thresh Lantern or something, and he gets out. So just something to consider. You always want to CC. You always want to combo. Think about comboing your skills. Nice little bind. Yeah, I'd say the items you buy, it's not really ideal. Here you're sitting on 1,000 gold, which you don't really want to be doing. Here you definitely want to sell this refill pot, which is not that useful, and buy like a codex if you're going into Zonias. You know, it's like 900 gold worth of combat stats you're missing out on, which is like 3 kills worth of combat stats, right? That's a pretty big deal. Whoa, we don't go for those. We don't go for those on a Gwen who has W. So another thing to consider is like, who do I want to be targeting with my poke abilities? Is it full HP level 16 raid boss Gwen, or do I really want to be hitting like this MF who's already chunked out? You know, we definitely don't want to target the guy who can just dodge it with one basic ability, right? I'd say even think about like comboing off of yourself better. Because here it's like you land the Q, so okay, nice, you landed the Q, so he CC'd for a while. So now you shoot out your E and your R very quickly, but your timing is like very slow. He got hit by the bind, so he CC'd, so guaranteed your E and your R will hit, but you're just very slow about it. So actually all your spells come out after he is not CC'd, and he actually dodges it, right? But if you shoot it faster, he would die. You do be hitting the keys though. And you know, there will be times where you have to shoot your skills and they can't be comboed, like, and you just have to go for it. Or sometimes you're like fishing and not trying to combo off anyone's spells. But when you can, you know, when you can, that's what you want to do. Damn, my internet sucks. Okay, it's definitely a bit of a banger. One thing to consider is that you've kind of just been grouped on mid for a really long time, which I think it kind of happens a lot in this bracket. It's kind of like, you know, people joke about it. They say it's like ARAM. I actually don't necessarily think it's the worst thing if you're not being split down on, but at some point you're going to want to learn when you should go side lane and when you should group on mid and siege. That's a topic for another day though. Nice, but again, the combo could be better. You're very good at landing your Q, but then you don't shoot your other spells in a consistent way. So here, generally every time you hit your Q, you want to follow it up with E into R. And it's so nice because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think I'm wrong, but your ulti procs your passive, right? Here you hit your Q, and then you just hit your R, and then you E after. Which is like, okay, but again, they do have potential counterplay because they're not CC'd anymore. If you Q and then E and then R, there is no counterplay unless they have tenacity. You know, in this situation, it's like you got them anyway. Okay, another thing about the Zhonya's, you want to like be able to preempt. You want to. This is like similar with the thing about barrier that I talked about earlier. You want to use it right as the burst comes out. So right as the burst comes out is right when Gwen uses the third part of her R. It's the strongest part of her kit. So when do we use Zhonya's? Right now. We see all the needles coming out, now we press Zhonya's. And you know what? You're probably dead here anyway. But if you're going to use Zhonya's, this is when you use it. Not when you're literally like 1 HP, tanked out pretty much the entire thing. And that comes from kind of preempting, you know? Like, what is a very... Certain moves are very telegraphed in League, and Gwen ulti is one of them, because it... You can kind of see her whole model change when she shoots the ulti, right? Like, now she has 5 needles. Okay, now they're all coming out of her, so that's her ulti cast. So now we instantly zone use before we take any damage, and we'll absorb all of it. Okay, and now it's the phase where it's like, maybe I should have, I don't know, pushed out the side wave at some point, because now we just lost the whole inhib getting split down. Crazy game, crazy game. Again, you left base with like 900 gold. You definitely want to avoid doing that. Oh, my internet is doomed. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, we're back. They got Baron. Wait, what even just happened? Did I miss out on a giant chunk? Oh, you walked right into Blitzcrank and got hooked. That'll do it. That'll do it. When you play Lux, guys like Blitz are your worst enemy. You never want to get close to these guys. And you've actually had vision of them every time. So you really just don't get close to this guy. Let someone else go in first. Or, if you want to play like a demon, just play with the knowledge that you're walking into his death range and, you know, you're like furiously trying to dodge it. That's the alternative. But what this is, it's like you just kind of walked into him and died. You walked into his death range. I think at this point, you guys just kind of look like you're getting split down. And my internet is taking a shit. So I'm going to call it here on the VOD review. But, Yeah, I guess my main takeaways are think about comboing your spells off your ally CC. In lane, think about shooting your skill shots and abilities in general. Trading in general, initiating trades when the enemy is walking up to CS is like a very, very huge core concept in League. Um, don't be leaving base with like 1,000 gold throughout the game because that happened a few times. And really think about what their main threat is to you, because I think you're kind of walking up willy nilly to blitz a few times as well. Okay, hope it helped. My first time coaching bronze. Hope it helped.